Kari Lake continues to fight for election integrity, and she's winning. We got a big update on the latest with her ongoing court case against corrupt Maricopa County officials and what it all means for Kari going forward. Trial dates have been set for Kari Lake's lawsuit to obtain access to mail-in ballot affidavits from the 2022 election that Maricopa County officials have thus far denied to her. The Gateway Pundit launched an investigation and inspected hundreds of mail-in ballot signatures and compared those signatures with those the same voter has on their registration records and found a number of explicit examples of irregularities. When Lake's legal team requested access to those ballots, she and her attorneys were denied access by Maricopa County officials, and it's not hard to conclude why. You remember the bombshell testimony of one whistleblower at the last trial who testified about the suspicious activities among Maricopa County officials regarding the mail-in ballots.
As November 8th came, what happened after November 8th in terms of signature verification at MTech?
So November 8th, we got in that night. MECTEC County got in something, we were told, of 298,000 affidavits that needed to be processed. And so we really, because it comes in on the 8th, really it was the morning of the 9th. All those affidavits were sent to Runback to have them do what Runback does to get them formatted and into the database. So we really didn't start to see any of the election night return information or data until probably Wednesday afternoon. And then by Friday, it was done. All 298,000, we were done with it, is what we were told, which made no sense. If we could only do 60,000, 70,000 a day, we surely couldn't have done that in 36 hours, is basically what it was. And then I left on the 14th, I think that was Monday. I never saw any more ballots to be cured. And I would have expected after 298,000 to have seen 5 or 7 or 8,000 ballots that needed to be cured, but never saw that.
So there you have it. According to this eyewitness testimony, he observed nearly 300,000 mail-in ballots processed in the course of basically 36 hours, even though it takes 24 hours to process 60,000. In other words, signature verification of over 298,000 ballots in 36 hours is simply impossible. And then Kari Lake's legal team played for the court surveillance video where you could see one poll worker scrolling through ballots next to another one doing the same, and that one worker's just zipping through them at the rate of like 20-1 compared with the other worker who's doing the exact same job. So apparently this person ended up, quote, verifying upwards of nearly 30,000 signatures. Then on top of all that, there was testimony from the Maricopa Director of Elections that a man in the video who was running through the signature verification process actually had to be removed from the process because of his poor job performance.
Presented to this court that the man had been removed from the line. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Was that man removed from the line?
He was removed from the process of signature verification, reassigned from the process.
Okay, when was he reassigned?
The exact date I do not know, but it was not, and if I may, some liberty, was not because of that video or not because he was reviewing as he was required to do. It was just that there's a skill set that's required to perform this function, and if you are not meeting those marks, then we'll move you to another task, whatever that may be, curing as an example.
But as you sit here today, you can't tell me that when he was reassigned.
I was not anticipating that, so I don't have his HR record.
All right.
But it wasn't, and again, it wasn't a let go. It was just a reassignment to a different part of the process.
And is that because how he was performing his duties?
Correct. So there can be, not specific, it could be that it's just a what we'll consider a lack of skill when it comes to technology or something of that nature.
Okay. So is it possible then, because he lacked skill with technology, that you moved him to actually handling green affidavit envelopes for signature verification?
Whatever we moved him to, it's actually proof positive that there is a audit level that would have identified that. And that's why we have those checks and balances, that second level and that third level.
Okay. Was this person a temporary worker?
Yes, he was.
What was the last day at Maricopa County Elections Department for temporary workers?
Some of them are still there. It depends on the nature of the thing. Some of them were, if you're talking specifically about signature verification, there are some that a bulk of them were probably Monday or Tuesday after the election.
Monday or Tuesday after the election. I'm really bad with Mondays and Tuesdays and just
14th, 15th
dates in general. So 14th, 15th.
of November.
What about the witnesses who testified today? I believe they were let go on the 11th. Is that correct?
That's possible, absolutely.
Okay, were a lot of people let go on the 11th?
Absolutely, yes.
What about this individual depicted in the video? Was he let go on the 11th?
It could have been.
Okay.
But that's because we were done.
Because you were done, not because he wasn't properly doing his job.
Because he could be assigned to Kari and he was doing that properly. So again, nobody was let go because they were going against their oath, or they were nefariously not to the best of their ability, as the oath indicates, or not performing.
Hey gang, if you haven't secured the deed to your home as of yet, you need to click on that link below right now and protect yourself and your loved ones. I was absolutely shocked when I found out recently how easy it is to access the deed to my house, and not just access it, gang, but to actually change it. The deed to your home is the only document that proves you own it. But the problem is that the deeds to all our homes are now online, and so criminals are free to find your deed, forge your signature, refile as the new owner of your home, take out tons of loans using your home's equity, and then stick you with all the debt. But that's where our good friends over at Home Title Lock come in. Gang, they're simply amazing. Home Title Lock gives you the peace of mind that the deed to your home is absolutely and completely protected. Click on that link below right now. Use promo code Turley Talks. Then all you got to do is just enter your address in for your no obligation home title scan to see if you've already been a victim of deed theft. That's $100 value, absolutely totally free with my promo code Turley Talks. Again, don't wait for the worst to happen only to regret you didn't do something about it when you could have. Do what I've done, do what countless patriots have done. Click on that link below right now and secure your home today. So now a new judge in the case John Hanna has set dates for a 2-day trial on September 21st and 25th to determine whether or not Kari Lake is entitled to inspect public election records. I mean, it's literally absurd on the surface. Obviously, she's entitled to inspect public election records, but things have apparently become so corrupt in Maricopa County that Kari actually has to sue to obtain access to what are otherwise public records. But access to these records is key to Kari Lake demonstrating that things were emphatically not on the up and up last November. Remember, according to Arizona law, Kari does not have to prove that actual fraud or maladministration of an election took place. All she has to do is show that there were enough irregularities, mishaps, mistakes, omissions, or other issues that bring the integrity of the election outcome into doubt. And Katie Hobbs' legal team has not even disputed that. Their only argument thus far has been that all of these irregularities that Kari uncovered didn't matter. They're normal and they don't matter. And unfortunately, the previous judge, Judge Thompson, his bogus ruling agreed with Katie Hobbs on that, even though the court was shown conclusive evidence, as you could see, that there were definite problems in the signature matching verification process. But this Judge Thompson basically blew those off. And in effect, at least, he said, at least there was a process. More or less, that's what he said. At least there was a protocol. At least there was a process. That's all you need. I mean, it was a very bizarre ruling. And so now Kari Lake's team wants access to the actual ballots to show, first and foremost, the explicit signature irregularities, and then determine the number of such irregularities and their effect on the outcome of the election. So this case is still ongoing. It is not over. In fact, Kari Lake's legal team came out and said the very fact that they have trial dates to gain access is a huge victory for election integrity. Her last trial is still on appeal at the Arizona Supreme Court, so we're still waiting to hear on that. And again, the last time she appealed to the Arizona Supreme Court, she won. She got a huge win in that the court required the lower courts to actually hear her evidence that she had, which we saw earlier. And again, this Judge Thompson just dismissed it all. So that decision remains on appeal with the Arizona Supreme Court. And Kari Lake's said she's going to go all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court if she has to. So this is not over, not by a long shot, and we'll continue to keep an eye on how things progress from here.
Hey gang, I know what it's like to feel alone out there in these turbulent times, but I broke free. If you too have been looking for a community with like-minded patriots who are serious about resisting globalism, building a parallel economy, and having intelligent and deep fellowship on a regular basis, then you've come to the right place. In my Courageous Patriot Insiders community, we're building a close-knit movement of, by, and for patriots who are breaking free from the outrage and despair cycles of the mainstream media and taking on the fight against globalism. Every week, I deep dive into the content I can't share on big tech and give you the cliff notes on the truth of how patriots just like you are building up their communities, starting patriot businesses, and fighting the woke in both public and private. All with a few history and political lessons from yours truly, of course. If you want to stop feeling alone as a patriot and stand together with this fast-growing community, be sure to click on the link in the description below. Don't wait. Join me and my Patriot Coalition today, and let's get fighting.